Praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahweh by way of Yahushua HaMashiach, John 5:39, 1 Kings 16:34.
Search the scripture, in them you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I am come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not honor that cometh from Elohim?
All right, 1 Kings 16:34.
It said, in his day did Hiel the Bethelite build Jericho, and he laid the foundation thereof of Abiram his firstborn, and set up the gates thereof, and his youngest son Shagurah, according to the word of Yahuwah, which he spoke by Yahushua son of Nun.
Yeah, what did Yahushua say, son of Nun, say about Jericho in the 6th chapter of his book? What did he say about Jericho? What did he say what should happen to the person who rebuilt Jericho? We mentioned it Wednesday. What did he say about Jericho? If you rebuilt Jericho, what did he say should happen to you? No. He said you'd be cursed. He said whoever rebuilds Jericho is cursed. So we got Hiel the Bethelite. He's rebuilding Jericho. And anybody remember what Hiel name means? It means that Elohim lives, and he's from the house of Elohim. So Elohim lives in the house of Elohim. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to sit back and look at something that's forth as Elohim living in the house of Elohim. I need you to get me Amos chapter 9. I need by verse 11. After Amos chapter 9 and verse 11. Which one? No, I'll just wait. Amos 9 and 11. Now he already read you a particular verse, which I was finna finish this 1 Kings 16:34 anyway, because we didn't finish it on Wednesday. Not sufficiently to my taste anyway. Go ahead.
It says, in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David.
And what day?
In that day I will raise up the tabernacle.
What day is that?
Passover.
Not necessarily Passover. It said in that day he'll raise up the tabernacle of David. That's what it said.
The
Day he resurrected. You talking about tabernacle? Read it again. Listen to what he said.
He said, he said, I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches.
Close up
thereof,
what?
The breaches thereof.
What's a breach? We got to go deep into it. What is a breach? If two people have a breach in between them, what happened to them?
It's a split.
There's a split. There's a separation. There was a breach in between the two kingdoms. Why was there a breach? No, specifically because of idolatry. That's what caused the breach. The breach was caused by idolatry. That's the only thing caused. Saul was disobedient. That didn't cause a breach. Do you know what I'm saying? Solomon caused a breach because of idolatry. And what have we learned that idolatry brings about? Lawlessness. Idolatry brings about you can do whatever you want to do. That's why people like idols. You know what I'm saying? That's why people like idol worshipers. Because you can do whatever you want to do. What did we see last night? That idol worship is an image of things that you move on. Idol worship is not reserved for just serving a false deity. Idol worship is reserved for people who have set up gods in their own heart to go in their own way and do what they want to do. And just because you coming up and putting Yah name on it does not mean that it is not idol worship. Just because you put his name on it. Did not your ancestors put his name on that golden calf in the wilderness? Did not Jeroboam put his name on that golden calf? Did not we read about Michael, whose mama said, I bless these coins for you to make a graven image and put Yah's name on it? You know what I'm saying? And made him priests, and they in here dropping word, they doing all that, and yet it's idolatry all the way around because Yah's not present in this entire situation. So I just want y'all to get to understand and know that your ancestors put this man's name on stuff, and it was still idolatry nonetheless because they was in there doing what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why we read that last night. That's why, praise the Lamb, that's why we have 3 days to make a whole picture. When we paint a picture, to make it clear, so you ain't got to rush it on Wednesday, because y'all willing by the end of the Sabbath the whole painting is done. You understand what I'm saying? Now this man sat back and said, if you rebuild this house, you rebuild Jericho, you cursed. Now he said he got to rebuild the tabernacles because of the what?
The breaches thereof.
Read it, finish out the verse.
Of the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins.
He'll raise up what?
His ruins.
Oh man.
And I will build it up as the days of old.
The days of old. What are those days of old? Because you got niggas think this talking about an actual temple. But what are these days of old? He's prophesying this in Amos. What kingdom did Amos preach in? Let's look and see, because he actually preached to both, to be honest. Give me chapter 7 though. I ain't gonna tell you that. He preached in both though. He preached to both kings of both houses. Give me chapter 7, man, about verse 16.
Now therefore hear thou the word of Yahuwah, thou sayest, prophesy not against.
Give me verse 12 then.
It says, also Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go flee.
Anybody know who Amaziah is?
The king of Judah.
We ain't got the Amaziah yet, I don't believe. He preached to both houses though. I think in this one here though, he in the northern kingdom on this one. Let me make sure. No, this is Amaziah's other, because he finna tell you. Look where he tell him to go. This is a king of YAHUAH. Look where he tell him to go.
It said unto Amos, thou seer, go flee away into the land of Judah and prophesy, eat bread. It said, go there and eat bread and prophesy there.
You see what he told him to do? Get from around here with this. I don't want to hear it. We didn't read the verses before that where he was telling these people that Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, was son to Jeroboam. He's a priest. Now this is a priest now. Matter of fact, back it on up so they can hear this here. They need to hear it. Back me up to about verse 7, man. Back me up to verse 7. They didn't need to hear the whole thing. Screw it.
Alright, it said, thus he showed me, and behold, the master stood up upon a wall made by plumb blind.
He stood up where?
He stood up upon a wall.
And what'd he say?
And with the plumb line in his hand. And Yahuwah said unto me, Amos, what seest thou?
What you see, Amos?
And I says, a plumb line.
And what did the master say?
Then said unto the master, behold, I will set a plumb line in the midst of my people, Yasharal.
Y'all know what a plumb line is?
Something gets separation.
Let me make sure.
I thought that
It's a tool. It's a tool of some sort. I forget the exact tool what it is though. But we'll make sure we look at it in our language. It's a weight. It's a lead weight. It's a lead weight. So they say he's going to put a weight in the midst of Yasharal and he won't pass by you no more. What is the weight then? The weight is sin. Give me Hebrews 12:1 and let's see why he got to remove this weight. So remember when he say he's not going, you got to look at something, right? When he say he's not going to pass by. If you think you're going to sit back and do whatever you want to do and this man ain't going to come see you about it, you smoking rocks. Do you know what I'm saying? He will forgive you if that's his prerogative. Even if he don't forgive you, that's his prerogative. But either way, he's still going to come see you. See, the thing with Yasharal is he had showed them so much mercy and he hadn't came and seen them yet. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Jeroboam who Amaziah, this is a priest. So he's supposed to know the law. And the priest told that nigga to leave. He told him to leave. And go tell that to somebody else, cause I don't want to hear it. But he say he is serving a Yahdo. But he say he a teacher of the word. It's showing you how wicked niggas can be. You saying you teach the word means absolutely nothing. Look at this nigga's heart. Hebrew 12:1.
It said, therefore saying we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth easily beset us.
So you lay aside every what?
Every weight.
Every what?
Every weight.
You know the stuff that we be sitting back holding that be that weight, that plumb line. He had to sit back and miss it because you gave this man sin, so he had to give you sin back in return. And you know what some of the weight that we be carrying? Jealousy, envy, lust, maliciousness, spitefulness, sedations, heresies. You know what I'm saying? Spitefulness, emulations, wrath, adultery. These all unbelief. That's all the weight you carrying with you. We talked about it before, man. You better do what Paul them did and throw that stuff overboard. You know what I'm saying? You better do what he told you to do when you were coming out in the wilderness. How you gonna come in the sanctuary of Elohim bringing all this with you? This stuff holding you back. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you see when they come in the word and they falter. You got too much weight on you. You already know it's unhealthy naturally to have too much weight on you. You know what I'm saying? It is detrimental to your physical health to be obese. You know what I'm saying? It can put pressure on your heart. It can put pressure on your liver. It can put pressure on your kidneys. You know what I'm saying? It can put pressure on your arteries. And all other maladies can come from being overweight. And it's the same thing can happen to you spiritually if you carry too much weight. It's going to be destructive to you, and eventually it's going to kill you. It's going to be some manner of disease, i.e. sin, that is going to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of looking at it and say if you overweight, diabetes get you, or hypertension get you, then guess what it's going to be? Lust going to get you. Spite gonna get you. Fornication gonna get you. Lies gonna get you, cause this the weight you carry and you ain't put it down. So he say he can't pass by you no more. Cause he say man, a man died under Moses' law with 2 or 3 witnesses. How much sore punishment suppose ye that a man trodden on foot the covenant of the son of Elohim and treat the spirit of favor as an unset apart thing? What you think you gonna get for that? See, nobody want to tell nobody that, because then they will cause people to consider, and maybe you wouldn't go do something that you shouldn't go do. Or maybe if you got pointed out for doing what you said. It's like this here. When Ahab got rebuked, which we ain't got to, y'all willing we get to next week, he repented, but guess what? Y'all just said, I ain't going to kill you now, I'm going to kill you later. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say, well, I forgave you, come in my house. He said, no, I'm going to kill you right now because you humbled yourself before me. I'm going to kill you later, and then I'm going to kill your sons. That was his forgiveness. I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill all your sons and you see it happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to kill you and then I'm going to kill your sons. Because, nigga, I don't screw with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point of you look at it. You can't commit so much wickedness and think because you balled down and started crying that this man just going to throw all that in the dumpster when you had already been warned. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't talking about if you hadn't been warned. We're talking about if you've been warned. You know what I'm saying? You don't think Ahab was warned? What's all the things that some of y'all know off the top of y'all head that Ahab did? He took somebody's land. How did he take it?
Jezebel wrote like a petition and got like some fair.
She wrote a letter. You know what she said in the letter? He got a nigga killed. They got that man killed. He didn't do it specifically. He rolled with it though. He rolled with her killing the prophets. The man built a house of Baal.
He was passing through fire too.
He was doing all manner of things. You know what I'm saying? You don't think he sent nobody to tell Ahab to repent in the midst of doing all that?
Elijah?
Not just Elijah, people period. By the time Elijah came, it was already too late for Ahab.
She had what, about the 50s in the cave?
That was Obadiah hiding them by the 50s.
But she was killing them by the...
It didn't even say how she was killing them. She just said she was killing them.
So you know they was there.
They were there. He was killing them. But when he came and told him, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to do this here, then he went to weep and he said, you know what, you humble. See, this is the mercy of y'all. That's what y'all ought to be missing. He still showed him some love. You know what? You're right. I'm going to still kill everything that pisses against the wall. Believe you me. But I won't do it in your time. You won't have to see it. But nigga, I'm going to kill you though. Trust that. And your wife, nigga, dogs going to eat her body up. Ain't nothing going to be left of this hoe. Play with me if you want to. That's why you don't need to play with that man. Just because you said you sorry and you dropped a few tears does not mean that he just going to throw that in the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? And he's just going to ignore it. He's not going to do that. You ain't never seen this man operate like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this nigga knew, he was warned, and the nigga did it anyway. And continue to do it. And now you want to cry because I told you I'm going to kill all your children? Come on, man. Come on back to Isaiah chapter 7. Amos chapter 7. You in verse 9.
It says, and the high places of Isaac shall be desolate.
The what?
The high places of Isaac shall be desolate.
They
and
shall
the
be
sanctuaries of Yasharal shall be laid waste. And I will rise against the house of Jeroboam.
Now think about this here, right? Who's the high place of Isaac then? The high places. We talked about this last night. You know that they consider Yahushua to be an idolater, right? You do realize that they viewed him to be a false prophet. Remember how I said that they mocked? See, this is the part I didn't hit y'all with last night. They began to mock him at what time? In 1 Kings 18, when did Elijah go to mocking them men? At what time of day? At the midday. He went to mock him. He said, maybe he's sleeping. Maybe he can't do this. That's what they did to the master. Because you got to realize he up on the estate, he's considered to be a high place. Because they consider him to be a blasphemer. If you are a blasphemer, you are considered to be an idolater in Hebrew culture. That's what you consider to be. This is what he's considered to be, as an idolater. Because he's following after his own way in their mind. Then as it became the dawn of time to even sacrifice, this is when everything is completed. The same thing with the master. It began to become evening. See, he ended up, when they came and snatched him, he ended up following, because how many sacrifices do you have? You got 3 a day. You got the morning sacrifice, you got the evening sacrifice, you got the midday sacrifice, and you got the evening sacrifice, which coincides with how many times a day you supposed to pray. How many of y'all pray 3 times a day? You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all get up in the morning, might not say a word. Noontime pass, don't say a word. Most people would pray when they lay down at night. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for that there, because you acknowledging those 3 sacrifices that are made. That man was all 3 of them sacrifices. Because you got to offer one up in the morning, got to offer one up in the midday, got to offer one up in the evening. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did to him. Now they came through and they were mocking this man while he was up there getting sacrificed. And then he say he ended up making it desolate. But look what he said: the sanctuaries of YAHUAH shall be laid waste. Did we just not already read in Mark 14 that you say you destroy this temple, but you can't destroy the one that's made with hands? But I'm gonna rebuild this one that's not made without hands, which goes back to what we know, which is in Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 2, that he say this is the sanctuary which YAHUAH hath pitched and not man. Did he not just read in Isaiah chapter 8 that he shall be a sanctuary? A sanctuary is a resting place. Does not the book say, did not this man open his mouth and say, come unto me, all ye that labor, and I will give you rest? You can't come into the sanctuary of YAHUAH and bring that crap in there. You defile the whole house. This is why he says, shall he take the body of the Mashiach and be joined to a harlot? Elohim forbid. He that be joined to a harlot is one flesh. So the whole time we go about trying to bring defiled things into the temple of Yah and expect him to receive it and to take it and accept it. And that's selfish and ignorant and wicked on our part. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be expecting that man to take this because we feel like he's supposed to take it, because people done crafted in our mind he's supposed to forgive you, he's supposed to love you. He ain't supposed to do nothing. You know what he's supposed to do? Keep his word to all those that take hold to his covenant. That's what he's supposed to do. Is he required to do anything else? According to the word, he ain't do nothing but required to keep his word and every covenant that he made. That's the only thing he required to do. He does things outside of those who don't keep his covenant so that you can know that there's mercy and forgiveness with him, that you might fear him. But see, men don't operate that way. Remember I told you about that one law in 48 Laws of Power, man, when he say take an enemy and make him your friend? Because when you do that, you'll have someone who will serve you. And like I say, most of that book is a history book, and the principles and templates of it are in the book. And you see real people doing it. But the real point I'm being is to show you a natural example of what you should be doing that's in the word. Because the master went to his enemies, which was us. You know what I'm talking about? And showed forth love and compassion to us, who was his enemy, so that he could win a servant. Because once you know that this man ought to kill you, then you will sit back and realize, I owe him my life. I'll do anything for him. You know what I'm saying? That's why one of the instances where he said you can't do nothing for your friends, because your friends feel like you owe them. You put your friends on, your friends like, you don't pay me enough money. You don't do this, you don't do that. Because that's that sense of entitlement. You know what I'm talking about? But because you were walking in unrighteousness and ungodliness, you know you weren't entitled to anything. But the scribes and Pharisees and the people of that time felt like they were entitled, that they were owed. That's why he said that when we read that in Romans, he said if it be a work, if it don't be a favor, then it's work. You feel like you owed. That was the purpose of the sacrifice. I don't owe you anything. You owe me. And if you understand that, you can save your soul. If you don't understand that, you're going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? That man don't owe you anything. And we sit back and complain about what you can and what you can't do. This man, you owe this man your life. He don't owe you anything. What does y'all owe any man, woman, or child walking this planet? Don't worry, I'll wait. What does he owe you? Somebody tell me. Who gave you breath? Who gave you breath? Who gave you your breath? Who gave you the money that you make? Who gave you the food that you eat? Who gave you the bloodline that you were part of? Now let me ask you a question. What did any of you give to Yah? Who gave you knowledge and wisdom and understanding? Who gave you salvation? Who gave you a sacrifice? What did you give to Yah though? You gave him nothing but your black butt to kiss. That's what you gave him. Ain't that what the book say? Say they turned the back and not the shoulder. You gave him your butt to kiss. That's what you gave him. He gave you prophets to warn you that your soul might be saved. And you know what you did to him? You killed him. Do you know what I'm saying? Get this nigga from around here. He talking crazy. I like that nigga right there though, because he said it's all right. He said it's all right. And guess what the wicked nigga gonna do? Forgive him. No, kill him. The book say kill him. You know what I'm talking about? And then the aspects of the new covenant, the book say kill him, meaning cut him off. I don't fool with you, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I don't fool with you, cuz. Because you trying to kill me. Don't you realize a nigga who on some other type time is trying to kill you? Don't you know a nigga who don't know what he doing with the word is worse than a drug dealer? He's worse than the United States government, to be honest with you. The United States government is the most despicable formation and creation on the face of this planet at this present time. I don't think of anything more despicable. You know what I'm talking about? A nigga can scream NWO, man, screw all of them. You have an open government that has declared war on a particular group of people who niggas make excuses for every day. You know what I'm talking about? Who love these niggas every day. They mad at Damon Wayans Jr. for saying this is happy, I killed all the black people day. Now they mad at him. But did he lie though? They called him a lot of things. They ain't call him no lie though. Because that's what they were celebrating on the 4th of July. We killed niggas today. We enslaved niggas today. We kill people who don't do what we want to do. You know, manifest destiny. God said, kill him and take the land. That's what you celebrating today. Because that ain't had nothing to do with, you know what July 4th was? That's white on white crime. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That was some white people mad with some other white people about some taxes. Because that's what they went to war for, was some taxes. So some white people got mad and threw some tea in the Boston Harbor. So they had a war about it. So what I'm celebrating it for? You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do with me. Niggas happy about Juneteenth. I'm not celebrating that for what? Nigga, my people still ain't free. Juneteenth ain't even the day. Technically, they say that's the day when all the slaves were freed. But if you actually know the laws, no slaves were freed on that day because the Emancipation Proclamation freed no slaves. All it was is saying that he freed slaves in the South, of which he had no jurisdiction or dominion over. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't free no slaves in the North. See, they don't tell you that. That's revisionist history because they know you're not going to read that. You're not going to study that. You're not going to inquire about that. Abraham Lincoln gets way more credit for doing something that he never did. You know what I'm saying? Slaves technically weren't freed until the 14th Amendment was ratified. And then they came with Jim Crow right after that. So you still wasn't free. And it's 2017 and you still ain't free. Unless you're in a Mashiach. You still ain't free. And we want to be free. Free from what? So them crackers can let you keep worshiping idols like you've been doing? That's what you free to do? I can go to work when I want to. But you really can't. Do you know what I'm talking about? I just told you, I picked up a young man yesterday. That man said, man, my son just died 3 days ago. He told my public, say, I got to come to work. I say, man, my son just died. They say, we need you. 2 people called out. You ain't free. Because if you were free, you'd tell them I ain't coming to work today and it wouldn't affect you, no, never mind. When things went down in our land, boy, everything stopped. Everything stopped. It wasn't no big deal because you were free. You know what I'm talking about? You could move as you pleased. There was nobody having you in subjugation. You subjugated here, whether it be through taxes, whether it be through laws. You can't stand up in America and say what you want to say. You got the American Defamation League coming at Jay-Z because he said, how do Jewish people get all the wealth? Now they mad. What you mad for? Did he lie though? He ain't tell no lies. So you're not free because you can't say what you want to say. I just seen a transgender dude say that it's wrong for a straight man to say he don't want a confused he-she. And they pressing to make this a hate crime for you turning down a man who was born a man pretending to be a woman. Nigga, I don't want a penis, nigga. You mad at me because I don't want you because you're a man. You're not a woman, cuz. You're not a woman. Oh, for real though. This is a real movement. Like this nigga say, you should not discriminate against me because I'm a man, because I identify as a woman. But when you take your clothes off, you have a penis. So you're a man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like men. Every one of them don't cut it off.
I mean, that's what make them, they not a transgender.
All of them don't cut them off, buddy. And all of them don't get nothing attached either.
Yeah,
you can say. No, in their mind, they're transsexual.
Yeah, whatever, but transgender means you don't got it no more.
And I'm just sitting there telling you, you want to get technical, but they don't get technical. Identify with the other sex. Doesn't mean about your tools, buddy. I identify as being a man, though I was born a woman. I identify being a woman, though I was born a man.
Transsexual is someone that has
okay, there you go. Transsexual. It was trans something.
Yeah, trans crazy.
Trans wicked.
You know what I'm talking about? Trans. Come on back to Amy, man. When you look at the sanctuaries being laid waste, did they not lay Hamashiach waste? They left him waste because they left his body on the ground. Remembering Beard because he rebuilt Jericho, so he got to be cursed. You remember what Jericho means?
I said you got to break that ground.
Don't break the crayon.
Isaiah.
Don't break the crayon.
Gave you the back, not the shoulder.
Oh, Jericho means it's moon. I got something for that. It means the moon. I got something for that. You want to see what I got for that?
That's your rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, your rock.
I got something for that. You want to see what I got for that? Finish this verse. I'll show you in a second. And he said he'll raise against the house of Jeroboam with the sword. Jeroboam means what? The people will contend. Did they not contend with this man? Was not the sword brought on him? Why did they contend with him? Because his works were righteous and theirs were not. Get me Hebrews 11 and 1. I think it's Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 and 1. Come on, man. We short on time. It's 4:15.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand.
My bad. It's 1 John chapter 3. That's what I want. I don't want that. I don't want that. Don't even finish it. I don't even want that. 1 John 3 and about verse 14. Actually 10. No, 11. 1 John 3 and 11. That's what I want.
It says, for this is the message that ye heard from the beginning.
What's the message?
That we should love one another.
That you should what?
You should love one another.
What else?
Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one.
Not as Cain, who was of what?
That wicked one.
Of who?
That wicked one.
And how you are the wicked one? You know there's people that really think that mean Cain was of the wicked one because the serpent had sex with Eve? You know, to be of the wicked one, it's in the law, sons of Belial. You're sons of worthlessness. I wonder where Bruce wondered, who is Belial? Why did he call him a son of Belial? Where did Belial come from? I want to read why he like to listen to that name.
Belial is a person.
They think Belial is a person. A Belial is not a person. Belial is an adjective. Go ahead.
It says that slew his brother, and wherefore slew he him.
Why did he slay him?
Because his own works were evil.
Because his own works were evil.
And his brothers were righteous.
And that's why they slayed their master. That's why they contended with him. That's why the wicked contend with the righteous to this day. Give him Galatians 4 and 26 to go along with that. Y'all wonder why you think it wasn't? Why you think it was beef between the Maliks of Yahudah and the Maliks of Yasharal? Because them niggas in Yasharal was wicked. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas was wicked. So they turn around looking at these niggas' works as righteous and ours ain't. I got a problem with them niggas. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I told you that last night. What I told you last night. When a nigga talk down on your name, see, it's one thing if you speaking facts. You know what I'm saying? But when a nigga talking down on your name, it's for the purpose of manipulation to cover up what they doing. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? That's all we seen when Basha was trying to stop the people to get to Asa. He know Asa was righteous and he was wicked. His name, you know how messed up that got to be? Because you born and your name means wicked. That when people see you, hey, wicked, and you turn your head and answer. But get what though? It's a lot of niggas need walk around here. Some of them y'all niggas know need to change their name to Basha right now. Go right downtown and change their name. You know what I'm saying? You look at that nigga, hey, wicked, what's up, boy? Hey, chillin', man. What you got going on? I'm just trying to make it. Just trying to make it. I know you trying to make it. It's gonna be hot where you're going. You brought your AC? Got you a fan? Straight up and down though. That's how wicked that nigga was. And what did Basha and the rest of them try to do? Make the people not want to hear the righteous because they know they work so wicked. That's what the children of the flesh do. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay attention to that. Like I told you, you ain't hear the master talk down on nobody. And when he went off on them niggas, he told them the truth. It was based on their actions, not because he had a personal problem with them. When they talked down on the master, it's because they had a problem with him. It wasn't rooted in no fact. Like I told you, it's a difference from somebody wronging you and somebody doing something and you just don't like it. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a difference from that. I didn't wrong you because I said this and you didn't like it. You just can say, hey, I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Does that make somebody a bad cook because they cooked the dish you didn't like? No, you just didn't like it. Well, that's what wicked niggas do. They talk down on niggas because niggas know if I can cause your viewpoint of this person to change, then you can come over here and purchase what I'm selling. Do you know what I'm talking about? And that's what the wicked do. Let's see why. Ephesians chapter 4. This nigga around here taking commercial breaks. He said after these messages he'll be right back. He went to go get him. He went to go get him a body armor. He had to protect himself. He wants some coconut water. Y'all ever had that before? That junk good now.
Sweet water.
The sweet water. I bought pail. One pail said I instantly felt the hydration. Dead serious. That's what he said. I had me dying laughing when we was in the car. I ain't gonna lie because we were hot too. It was hot out there too. He wasn't lying though, because the first time I drank one, you can feel a little difference. It's a little electrolytes in there now. I ain't front on it. It just he didn't put it in words I wouldn't have put it in.
You said 2?
Ephesians 4.
Top?
No. I'm in Galatians 4. My bad. 4 and about 25.
It says, for this a God.
Take it down to 28. We got to roll. 4 and 28. Galatians 4 and 28.
Now we brother, as Isaac was, are the children of promise.
Isaac is what?
The children of promise.
Didn't he say that he will come up and make the high places of Isaac desolate? That's why we looking at Hamashiach is Isaac. You know Isaac's name means what? To laugh. And what were they doing at the master when he was on the stage? They were laughing at him. They were mocking him. Just like Elijah was doing to them. And I got something in Jeremiah 48. I've been home for a couple of weeks that we just ain't got to. It's the same thing. They hold you in derision. Go ahead, man.
Of the promise.
Of the who?
Of the promise.
Let's go.
But as he that was born after the flesh.
After the what?
Flesh.
What did he do?
Persecuted him.
And then what?
That was born after the spirit, even so it is now.
Even it is to this day. You think it's anything different? It ain't nothing different. We was asked this once, right? They were saying, is it always going to be strife and contention? It's always going to be strife and contention if a nigga wicked. Do you know what I'm saying? It always going to be. Dude, I put it this way, right? It wasn't no strife and contention between the master and the scribes other than for one reason. Because they were wicked. We read in 1 Kings 18, what was the contention between Elijah and Ahab? Ahab was wicked. Do you think Elijah would have had a problem with this man if he was right? Do you know how insecure and lame you got to be that if you righteous and another man righteous that you got a problem with him? How you gonna have a problem with somebody who just like you? That don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? That's like having a problem with your husband and they got the same mind as you. Problem with your wife, she got the same mind as you. Which I'm mentioning that because scripturally, you're supposed to have the same mind as your husband. Meaning YAHUAH, you supposed to think like, don't the book say let this mind be in you to have his mind? So how you gonna have a problem with, you wouldn't have a problem with anything your husband told you to do because both of y'all got the same mind, the same goal, the same end, the same desire. Because you one body, you one flesh, one heart, one mind, one way. That's what the book says. So that doesn't make sense, do it? So if two people on the same pathway and they join together as one, how they got a problem with each other? So that means if they got a problem with each other, that means one person. Y'all remember that stuff? What I did? Was that from Sesame Street? One of these things do not belong. Do you know what I'm saying? Something doesn't belong here, and it's gonna be some headbutting. That's what. And what does the book say that Ishmael was doing to Isaac? Mocking him, laughing at him, clowning him. Why was he clowning him? Because his works was righteous and his weren't. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what sinners do. See, we know too much word to be falling for the same okie doke. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna get me. I just sit back and I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas say whatever they want to say about me. I ain't gonna talk down on a nigga. I say something you guarantee is the truth. As far as I'm sitting back, hey, if a nigga say, hey, that wasn't what it was, then we can acknowledge and say, hey, we spoke presumptuously on that. That wasn't correct. But nigga just talking down, just to be talking down, that's lame. That's lame, and that's what they did to the master. Come on back to Amos chapter 7. We're in verse 10. Don't go out like that, man. Just know that it's always going to be strife and contention between the righteous and the wicked. The law tells you that. They can never meet an agreement. It's going to be enmity. It's going to be hatred. It's going to be beef. The just are an abomination to the unjust, and the unjust are abomination to the just. Do you think the book lying? You think that's a lie? You know what an abomination is, right? Something you detest, something that offends you. So if you just and that person unjust, you mean to tell me they think that they not offended in you? I don't care who they were. It could be your own mammy. You think she ain't gonna be offended at you? Does not the book say that a man own foes will be of his own household and your mother-in-law turn on a daughter-in-law? I guess we just think that's just some words then. That's my daddy. He wouldn't be offended at me. Shoot, he hates your God. Why wouldn't he be? I've known him for 15 years. He'd be my friend, but he hates your God. Why wouldn't he be offended at you? If we believe the book is true. If you believe Proverbs 29 and 27 is true, then you better believe if a nigga unjust, he detests you. Do you know what I'm saying? That's if you believe. And see, that's the things where we get at, where y'all be trying people on some of the simplest things, because this is where he see if you got idols in your heart. You know what I'm saying? You can love your people, but you still got to be realistic with it. I love all my people. That don't mean all your people gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean they gonna love you back. Yahushua loved the whole nation of Yasharal. They did not love him back. You know what I'm saying? Only a small, scant amount of those people loved him back. And y'all got to realize that it was less people who loved him than hated him. It was more people that hated that man than loved him. And you think that's going to change as time go on? Why? Because a nigga called himself such and such Yasharallah, or such and such Yasharal, or such and such Israel. You know what I'm talking about? Because a nigga say, I proclaim the name of Yahuwah. Yahushua is my savior. I believe. Nigga waiting to put a whole knife in your throat. Do you know what I'm saying? Nigga waiting to turn you over to the authorities. Come on, man. Amos 7:10, man.
It said when Amaziah the priest of Bethel sent Jeroboam.
So if he's in Bethel, where is he at? He's in Samaria. You correct. You know what I'm talking about? And this is where YAHUAH the Bethlite come from. So if that's the house of Elohim, then what can we surmise was in that house? I'm talking about naturally. If this the house of Elohim, what was there? Not the, well, at that time it was before Jerusalem was built. That is correct. Well, guess who else would be in there then? If the ark in there, who else there? The priest there. So what else gonna be there? The law gonna be there. So you think this nigga ain't know what time it was? You think YAHUAH the Bethlite ain't know he ain't had no business rebuilding Jericho when it was written in Yahushua son of Nun, you were cursed if you did it? Come on, man. I still ain't forgot about that Psalms 8 and 3. Just bear with me. Because remember, Jericho mean its moon, the moon. Come on with it, man. Get up out of there before you injure yourself.
It said Amos has conspired against thee.
He did what?
Conspired against thee in the midst of the house of Yasharal. The land is not.
It just said that he conspired. How is he? Oh my. That's how you getting up drunk, boy. You trying to get drunk without drinking a natural light, boy?
Boy drunk off jam.
That boy drunk off jam, grape jam, Smuckers. Smucker got him spinning in a circle. He out here, I don't want to say that. That's an idol god. He said he's a whirling dervish. Y'all ever heard that before? Yeah, you don't want nobody. Nevertheless, why did they say he conspired? Well, let's look at John chapter 19, right? And let's see where they say that Mashiach had conspired. They say we ain't able to bear his words. We can't take them. And that shows you the mind frame. I want to say by John 19, 29. When you sit back and you look at it, right, they say, seer, prophesy somewhere else. Because we can't take your words. We can't bear. But what did he tell the prophet Ezekiel to do? Tell them whether they hear or whether they forbear. I don't care. You can't take these words, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But that's how people sit back. I don't like him. He talk too rough and he say this and he say that. I can't bear his words. They're not my words to begin with. You may not. Now remember, right? Who remembers we talk about it in private, but not in public though? Just in loose conversation. Yeah, in private. Who remember what it mean when Paul said, even though I be rude in speech? Some of y'all might have not all been a part of that conversation. I can't remember everybody who was part of that conversation. I know Brother DC was part of the conversation because he the one asked. When they sit back and look at, because I know I didn't speak this to everybody, and I ain't finna go to great detail in it right now. Y'all willing? Soon. Be rude in speech. When you look at that in Greek, it means to speak as an ignorant person. To speak as if you don't know what you're talking about. Brews take that to mean you can cut somebody out. You know what I'm saying? But look at it in a natural way. Somebody would say that I'm rude in speech because how I speak. You know what I'm saying? We come from a society. Most of us didn't grow up during the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Clearly. But some of us may have seen the clips of certain men like Fred Hampton. Y'all know who Fred Hampton is? He was a Black Panther. He was killed at 21 years of age. They assassinated him. Let's go call it what it is. They murdered him. They ran in the house and murdered him. You know what I'm saying? Tried to say he was shooting at them, but when you look at all the bullet holes were going in the house and no bullet hole were coming out the house. You know what I'm saying? Huh? No, Fred Hampton was from Chicago. Fred Hampton spoke with a lot of power and a lot of force. You know what I'm saying? Huey Newton, I know you know who that is. He spoke with a lot of power and a lot of force. Bobby Seale, you know who that is? Bobby Seale, who once started the Panthers with Huey Newton. You don't really know about Bobby Seale too much, but Bobby Seale was right there with him. Huey Newton was kind of like what it said with Paul. He was the spokesperson. He was the one you seen his face. Bobby Seale was just as important. You know what I'm talking about? He spoke with a lot of force. Malcolm X, y'all know, he spoke with a lot of force. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like, Caucasians didn't like to show you images of men. Such a man by the name of Paul Robeson, he spoke with a lot of force. Y'all know who that is? Paul Robeson was an elite athlete. He also was an intellectual and an actor. You know what I'm saying? And he chose not to play professional sports at that time because of the racism involved in them. And he also did not take certain roles that portrayed black men in a negative fashion. He utterly refused to take them. You know what I'm saying? You might want to look up Paul Robeson and find out who he is. He was in like the 20s, and you know what I'm saying? 30s, around in that time period. He spoke with a lot of force. Basically, aggressiveness.
You in the 20s and 30s?
Yeah.
You heard him speak?
I mean, they got clips, man. You know, I was deep in it, man. When I was young, I read and looked at a whole bunch of stuff. Not literally, but you know.
No, I didn't think they had video back then.
No, the video was audio.
Oh.
They did have video back then, but it was audio. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, you know, I was young, but I was in everything. You know what I'm saying? That's coming up. I didn't like Martin Luther King because he didn't speak strong enough for my taste. You know what I'm saying? My daddy showed him to me a couple times. I wasn't feeling that nigga though. Not saying that I wasn't feeling what he was talking about. I wasn't feeling his demeanor. It was too weak for me. I'm talking about as a child. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? 8, 9, 10 years old. I ain't feeling this nigga. Nigga talk too soft. Nigga screw them crackers. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes like that. They were aggressive. You got people like Thurgood Marshall who was more refined with it and dignified with it. They went about it in a different fashion. You know what I'm saying? There's more than one way to skin a cat. Everybody don't got to be aggressive, but some people are aggressive. White men don't like aggressive black men. You know what I'm saying? They don't like it because it's a signifying of strength and courage and resolve. They don't like it. And over the period of time, we have been taught and refined to not like it either. You know what I'm saying? See, you don't even know if black people, you done took on their mind frame of you don't like aggressive men. Because all aggressiveness actually means is passion and conviction for what they believe in and what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that black man standing up like a black man and speaking like a black man, say, I don't like him, he talk too hard. Give me a Martin. Martin talk nice. You know, he was calm and comfortable. How would be calm and comfortable? They killing my people like dogs in the street. You know what I'm saying? I seen it. It's funny because I seen the nigga standing there now. After we done been told this nigga this. You got this nigga Wesley Muhammad. I don't fool with the nigga. The nigga talking about they taking the weed. Yeah, that's the nigga name. And taking the thing with the THC. But remember when we were having the conversations about not fooling with that weed though. We've been at this conversation. You know what I'm saying? See, I done told y'all before. I already knew this. I told y'all ecstasy was a CIA drug that was going to be used as truth serum as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I learned this when I was like 18 years old. Like this information be out here, niggas don't look at it. So a nigga wasn't popping no mollies. I ain't trying to pop no X. Nigga, you dumb? Do you know where this come from? And just like he said, right, the weed is way more powerful now than even what it was when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? Now nigga finding out, niggas supposed to have enough sense to know if the government is authorizing medical marijuana, why would you want to grow it and smoke it? But you trust the United States government because you know what you think about? I can get high, I can make some money. So you're thinking with your belly, you ain't thinking with your brain. You stupid idiot. Why would you buy anything from them? You know what I'm saying? But guess what though? A nigga go buy medical marijuana. Don't you buy no opiates though. Don't say no to pharmaceuticals. You hypocrite. You doing the same thing. You do it because guess who gonna give you the seeds to grow the weed? Guess who regulating you growing the weed?
And if you buying it legally, you buying Oxycontin.
Buying some weed, they hope we're gonna make. Because guess what? The one thing that the United States government wants done is this: to make people sterile. Because in their minds, they believe overpopulation is the greatest threat to the planet. You know what I'm saying? In their mind, that's what they believe. The earth is not overpopulated and can never be overpopulated. You know what I'm saying? But when you ignorant and you don't know, they'll make you believe that that's true. You know, they might got a point. I told you, I can't verify this because I ain't no scientist. Ken Hovind said you can fit the whole world's population in this city. You know what I'm saying? As I ride around this city and I think about certain things, it could be plausible because look at all the stretches of highway here where people could be living. You know what I'm saying? We don't really sit back and look at it that way because of the amenities that they done gave us. Now 7 billion people is a lot of people, but that's him. He's a scientist. I don't do that type of research. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's flat though. It's flat though. When you go to heavy populated cities, it's usually way smaller than Jacksonville and everything up.
Ain't
I
nothing.
think if Jacksonville land mass wise was up,
You couldn't do it.
you could do it. The average apartment complex only 3 stories high.
And you could go higher than that if you wanted.
Yeah, way higher.
And then we didn't even talk about stretches of 95, stretches of 10, stretches of 295. Well, all that's woods. So when you clear all, and then we talking about all these places where they got stores and retail stuff at and all this other stuff that people could be living there. Because if we go back at a different time, you didn't have all those things. You know what I'm saying? You just had some area for your cattle and for your crops. Other than that, it wasn't no Six Flags. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no Volcano Bay. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no Jaguar Stadium. Ain't none of that. You know what I'm talking about? This is all stuff that's taking up spots where somebody could be living. Ain't no Bank of America Tower. I mean, but in ancient times, they had no amenities. Yeah, I'm talking about I'm talking about like antiquity. Antiquity. No, when that time got on, yeah, they had a little something. You got to start getting the gym. You know, the Romans loved to party and play. They love to party and play. They the ones that really came up and crafted an arena or coliseum as we see to this day. But I'm talking about ancient antiquity. They just, hey man, go out there and work that field. Go home to your children. Go home to your wife.
I mean, yeah, because when it's night, it's night.
It's night. You. That's it.
Yeah.
Ain't no street lights. Ain't no cell phone. Ain't no cell phone flashlight. Yeah, and true indeed. But get what? Like the book say nighttime come in, man, go to retire to his house. Go home, retire to your house. You know what I'm saying? They probably were getting freaky in the middle of the day. We got time, I can't see you at night. Ain't no lights out here. You know what I'm talking about? Go tell them children, go out there and work in that vineyard and give me your mandrakes, because it's time to make some more church.
Hey, you a fool.
I'm just saying though.
You ain't lying, though.
Shoot, just imagine. That's how I was talking later about. Look how you nigga be complaining about when AC go out. Your ancestors ain't know nothing about no AC. Outside in the heat, desert life, sweating everybody musket. You know what I'm
I don't
talking
know about all that.
I'll just
Put respect on my forefathers.
But shoot, you bet like this here. Stay out there long enough. I don't care what antiperspirant you put up under there. He gonna start to fade.
Well, we put that on you.
Get what though? You seen when they bathe though? They bathe in the middle of the day. Cause ain't no bathing at nighttime. Talking about I'm gonna bathe when I get off. You better bathe for that sun go down. You better bathe for that sun go down.
Ain't let that dry.
Better hit that lake. Remember that day we gonna mess with Stanley? Remember when Stanley was on that there? Stanley say no soap. Then let the boy convince him not to use no soap because they want to be funky and stank. Now he has no recollection of so-called events. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. But we know who were the purveyors of that, though. We know who brought that around your direction. You know what I'm talking about? I'd have told that nigga, shoot, nigga, you gonna be nigga your nuts, man. You keep that over there yourself. I'm not following you on that one, nigga. Who? Shoot, I wouldn't care. I'm gonna have cancer there. I'm gonna be clean though. Straight up and down, nigga. I'm gonna be clean though. Come on, man. Shoot, nigga talk that trash. Nigga say, but you gonna get a disease. Shoot, but I'm gonna be clean though. Smell good, nigga. All right, man. I'll take that risk, boy. I can't be stank. Screw that. Some nigga don't care about being stank. Who you telling? I wasn't even too big. Boy, I remember young man, I had a certain type of deal that junk ain't work by the 7th grade. Nigga musket by the middle of the day. Never again. Straight powder.
Yeah, I've always been on that.
Never again. You walk around here like this here. Seen grown men doing this here, cringing at your own smell. Y'all rest his soul. My homeboy dead, man. That we were riding in the car. That nigga said, boy, you stink. Boy, that nigga dead like this here. Oh, I said, come on, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You thought we were trying to be funny the whole time. Nigga, this whole car smells awful. Because of you. That's my nigga, though. Go ahead, man. That junk crazy nigga. That's a nigga who, I think I met the nigga when I first met y'all at that thing, man. The nigga just died yesterday, man. Called himself Upstart D. Wars, man. Nigga was like a music promoter in the city. But I met him when we came to that event.
That sounds familiar.
I met him at that event when I first met y'all at Regency, man. He just died yesterday, man.
That sounds familiar.
His name like Derek Washington or something like that.
Oh, stop. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he a music promoter though, man. He just died yesterday. 1929. No, that's too high. That's too high. 18 and 29. I mean, wrong chapter. My bad. 18 and 28. That's my fault. Wrong chapter.
John,
John 18:28. John 18:28. That's my fault. Wrong chapter. Right verse, wrong chapter.
Then led they Yahushua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them and said, What accusation bring ye against this man?
What accusation they bring?
And they said unto him, If he were not a malefactor, we would have not delivered him unto thee.
Go ahead.
Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye him and judge him according to your law.
They say we have a law.
The Yahudim therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death. That the saying of Yahushua might be fulfilled, which he spake,
No doubt.
signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Yahushua and said unto him, Art thou the Malakim of the Yahudim? Yahushua answered and said, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others?
Now I'm gonna ask y'all this here, right? So what's the conspiracy that they felt like the master was doing here then, based on what you just heard? What's the conspiracy?
Trying to stir them against them.
They want them dead, but they ain't.
No, they said, remember right, he said that the priest said that Amos was conspiring against Yasharal. Now you got the priest saying Hamashiach is conspiring. What are they saying that he's doing? He was saying that he was a king. See, we didn't read the part. They said we have no king but who? What did they say? They said Herod was their only king. Well, Caesar had one of them niggas. Shoot, I think that nigga last name Caesar too. But you right though, one of them niggas. One of them white folks smell like dog. Come on. Nah, he was white. Edomite Herod. Herod was the one in Luke 23 that wanted to see him so bad. Nah, he was a good old Roman. He was the one over Pontius Pilate. Yeah, same Herod and Matthew, same one that had John the Baptist. Same.
Pilate answered, I'm a Yahudim.
No, that's good. That's good. I wanted you to see what the conspiracy was. The conspiracy, because they saying he conspiring against Yasharal. Because if you know you the Malik of Yasharal, that means you the leader of Yasharal. So you saying you conspiring against us to take us up under your subjection. So we got to kill you for that. We can't take his words. We got to get him out of here. Because we didn't read John 11. He sat back and said, what? If we leave him alone, they're going to believe on him. We can't take his word. Guess what he told him? You hypocrite. You want to be seen of men. You hypocrite. You clean the outside of the cup, but the inside dirty. You hypocrite. You swallow a camel and strain at a gnat. You tithe the ant and the cumin and the mint, but you omit the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. Remember when we talked about that? You sit back and you look at how many brews don't even talk about the weightier matters of the law. Why they don't talk about it? And not just because of that, because they don't care about it. Because those three things are what to get your soul saved. If you got proper judgment, if you believe, and you're able to show mercy like Yah showed mercy. That's why we went through all that last night about being married. And about that marriage covenant and what he was showing you when he told Hosea to take an adulteress. That was mercy. Because according to the law, that adulterous woman is to be stoned. She's to be stoned. According to his law, he's supposed to wipe us out as a people. We're not even supposed to be here right now. Do you know what I'm saying? When you understand the mercy, then you can begin to exhibit that to other people. There's a situation, I ain't gonna go into no great detail on it, where a nigga came to me like, so you gonna do this and do that? And I'm like, why wouldn't I forget? Why would I be walking around holding that in? It didn't bother me when they did it. It is what it is. You know, nigga was angry, nigga was mad, nigga was up, whatever the case may be, it doesn't bother me. But a nigga showing you that they walk around and have grudges and argue with a nigga for no reason. They can't even let it go. They couldn't even be merciful enough to say, it's all good, baby, and give him a hug. Hey, man, let's keep it rocking. You may not look at them in the same fashion you did before, but you're not going to shun them. You're not going to treat them no different. Niggas ain't going to do that because they don't care about nobody in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because all they care about is the image that they're trying to keep up. A lot of people don't have it in their heart to forgive nobody. Like, sincerely forgive them. Not throw it in their face. Not remind them of what they did. You know what I'm talking about? You're forgiven for that. And that's dead, and that's over with. And that's an example of what you got to look like when you married. When you married, your husband may offend you. Your wife may offend you. Will you forgive them for it and move past it? Because you have to take, and a marriage is an act, and I've told y'all this before. A marriage and having children is supposed to be an exhibition of the kingdom of Shamahin on the earth. That it's supposed to be a manifestation of the works in the temple in your house. You know what I'm saying? So that patience, that forgiveness, that joy, that love, that all that faith, because that's basically trusting your spouse, all that's supposed to be exhibited within the home according to the word. That's why I say a lot of people not prepared for that responsibility and be ready to jump in that responsibility without really understanding what you're getting yourself into. Because most people want to get married for a companion or to get a little jiggle in their pants. Come on back to Amos chapter 7. Little jiggle, little wiggle, do the electric boogaloo, the vertical mamba, so to speak.
Well, took it back on me. Don't know about the electric boogaloo.
Yeah, it's an old one. Even before I was born. But just sitting back saying that anything that we can get involved with is an example of the salvation of our God if we just slow down and pay attention, or once you already in that situation, to manifest it, to learn it, to let that become of your behavior. You know what I'm saying? Let your Elohim be honored in your body. You know what I'm saying? Stop. We got to stop thinking about it's just about us. That's why you have to look at certain stuff you could do. It could be a stumbling block because you feel like ain't nothing wrong with it. That don't mean you should do it. You could cause somebody else to stumble. So what you want to do is more important than your brother. The master didn't move that way. He didn't look at, oh man, it ain't a sin though, but it could cause your sister, your brother to stumble. So I won't do it because I care about them more than I care about myself. See, and we don't have that thought process. Come on. Amos 7. 11.
It says, for thus Amos said, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Yasharah shall surely be led away captive out of their own land.
Out of their own land.
Also Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go flee away into the land of Yehudah, and there eat bread and prophesy there.
But what he told him not to do?
But prophesy not again any more in Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court.
You think a nigga care because it's the king? He told her don't prophesy here because the king live here. So what? Come on. He just told what he just told him what's gonna happen to the king. Oh, murk that nigga. I bet y'all go into captivity. And always keep remember that captivity is exile.
Then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son.
He was no what?
No prophet, no prophet's son.
Who else said something along these lines? There you go. Come on.
But I was a herdsman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And Yahuwah took me as I followed the flock, and Yahuwah said unto me, go prophesy unto my people Yasharah. Now therefore hear thou the word of Yahuwah, thou sayest, prophesy not against Yasharah, and drop not thy word against the house.
That's how people feel when you're dealing with the word. Don't speak against me. Don't drop a word against me. I don't want to hear that. I don't care to hear that. You know what I mean? That ain't what's happening. Come on back to 1 Kings 16, man. Now when we look at it, he say he laid the foundation, right? Foundation being your card, and that is to fix or to establish. Now we're going to sit back and we're going to look at that. Because if you land in this here is to establish something, correct? And I mentioned something to y'all the other day. And now we're going to do it now. I need Amos chapter 4. I need verse 10.
It says, I have sent among you the pestilence after the manner of Mizraim. Your young men have I slain with the sword.
Yeah.
And have taken away your horses. I have made the stink of your camps to come up into your nostrils.
You heard what he told you? I killed you. I killed you. And what they didn't do. Listen to him. Go
You have
ahead.
not returned unto me, said Yahuwah.
Now we read last night in 1 Kings 18. The purpose of that sacrifice was to cause you to do what? To return. The purpose of Mashiach's sacrifice was for you to return. Go ahead.
It says that strengtheneth the spoil against the strong, so that the spoil shall come against the fortress.
What are you reading?
I'm tripping. I have overthrown some of you, as Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and you were as a firebrand plucked out of the burning. Yet have ye not returned unto
Who was those that he killed, that he destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah? Who did he overthrow that was like Sodom and Gomorrah? I didn't read it. We talked about it last night. I ain't read it though. How did he overthrow? What did he overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah with? Who else got overthrown with fire coming down from Shamaim in that same fashion, and they still didn't return? That's who he did it to. The people that Elijah, when they came to him, he said, if I be a prophet, let fire come down from Shamaim and take all of y'all out. All those, you think it was just them people, right? You think everybody else ain't see that? And they still didn't return. Go ahead. Sit down, boy.
It says, therefore thus will I do unto thee, O Yahshua, and because I will do this unto thee, prepare to meet thy Elohim, O Yahshua.
He said, prepare to meet who?
Thy Elohim.
Ooh, boy.
For lo, he that formeth the mountains and created the wind and declared unto man what is his thought.
He declared unto man what?
What is his thought?
He declared unto man what?
What is his thought?
Woo.
That maketh the morning darkness and treadeth upon the high places of the earth. Yahuwah, the Elohim of hosts, is his name.
What do you think that means when he say he declared to a man what his thought gonna be? Give me Romans 9 and 22. That means the mind that you have, y'all give you that mind. After we look at Romans 9, we're going to get Proverbs chapter 16. And after Proverbs chapter 16, we're going to get, not in that order, get Psalms 37, Proverbs 16. And then I got some other stuff we working as it goes. Romans 9 and 20 though.
It says, name, but O man, who art thou that replies against Elohim? Shall the thing formed say unto him that formed it, why hast thou made thus?
Mm-hmm.
Have not the potter the power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another to dishonor?
So he telling you right now that he fashions a vessel how he wants. If you a vessel under honor, you would have honorable thoughts. If you're a vessel under dishonor, you'll have dishonorable thoughts. You wonder why some people can go in the direction that they go, because they're going with the mind that Yah gave them to go in. A lot of times people get the mind that they get to go in because he's giving you over to your desires. He's just going to let you have what you want. Since that's what you want, he's going to let you have it. You know what I'm saying? He told him, man, does he not say in Isaiah 66 that he said, I will choose out your delusions? Ain't that what he told you? A delusion is going to be what? Your thought process. He's going to pick what he lets you believe. You want to believe lies, he'll let you believe lies. You want something so bad, he'll let you have it, even if it'll be detrimental to you. That's why sometimes you have to sit back and look at, just because you get something that you want don't mean y'all the one that he gave it to you for your benefit. Let's put it that way. Because he gave it to you, but why did he give it to you? You understand what I'm saying? Come over here to Proverbs 16 and 3. And after that, drop to verse 9. My bad. Yeah, 16 and 3 is fine. Yeah, I did, but we're going to do Proverbs 16 first. Proverbs 16 and 3, and then drop to verse 9. This is going into what I was talking to y'all about. I'm going to just give you examples of people that I mentioned, and you have to go read them on your own time. That Yah directs and moves and places people where he wants, when he wants, with who he wants, how he wants. Now, whether it be for your damnation or salvation is up to him. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Commit thy works unto Yahuwah.
Commit what?
Thy works unto Yahuwah.
And what'll happen?
And thy thought shall be established.
What will be established?
Thy thought.
Your what?
Thy thought.
So if you commit your what?
Your thought.
Your works to who?
Unto Yahuwah.
Then what's going to make your thoughts be what?
Thy thought.
That means that foundation going to be laid. Mm-hmm. Now let's look at Philippians 2 and 5. So if you, yeah, I'm gonna come back. So if you don't commit yourself to doing the work, then he gonna let your mind be wherever it got to be at. Your thoughts will not be fixed or established on that foundation. Now we seeing that Elohim lives in the house of Elohim, laid that foundation. Because the house of Elohim is the body of Mashiach. Elohim lived in Mashiach. Did he not say, if the Father in me, then he be in you? Ain't that what he said in John 17? Was he not cursed because he sought to rebuild that place? Because it's called Jericho, which means the moon. And I told you I got something in Psalms for it. Just be patient. I'm going to get to it before we depart. It ain't but 4:53. Come on. 2 and 5. What did Paul tell you to do?
Even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us.
Oh, my bad. I meant to say Philippians 2 and 5. Philippians 2 and 5. That's Philippians 2 and 5. My apologies. That's Philippians 2 and 5.
For your fellowship in the Besorah from the first day until now, being confident of this very thing.
That's not 2 and 5.
That's definitely not Philippians 2:5.
That was Philippians 1:5. Pardon me. Let this mind be in you.
Let this what?
This mind be in you.
What mind is that?
Which was also in the Mashiach.
What mind did he have?
Who being in the form of Elohim thought it not robbery to be equal with Elohim.
Let's look at some of his works, because works ain't just sitting back looking at I don't eat pork, I keep the Sabbath. It's more to it than that. Go ahead.
It says, but made himself of no reputation.
So he was humble.
And took upon him the form of a servant.
And he served.
And was made in the likeness of men.
Go ahead.
And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of his son.
And he sacrificed himself. And he sacrificed himself to the point of death rather than go against the word. These are his works. So when you sit back looking at, right, the master said, I am the way, the life, and the truth. He say, greater works than these that you will do, right? Look at his actions, because those are his works. Every time a brew talk about works, the only thing they want to talk about is not eating pork and keeping the Sabbath. I'm doing the work. Nigga, what? You know what I'm saying? Let's look at the word. When that woman who had that issue of blood, what did he do? He looked upon her and had compassion and healed her. That's a work. That would be the mercy. You know what I'm talking about? When he turned around, he sit back and he asked them people, he without seeing cast the first stone. What did he do? He executed judgment because you people were seeking to condemn someone when you ought to have been condemned yourself. And he also showed mercy. But what did he tell her after everybody left? He said, go and sin no more. He didn't stamp it and say, it's okay, babe. See, that's the difference when you look at his character. He forgave her the transgression, but he didn't give her a hug. He didn't pat her on her back. He didn't say, I love you. He said, go and sin no more. Don't do that again now, because I don't stamp that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just showing mercy to you. I do not stamp that. That's what niggas overlook. They act like he just threw a party and just sung, oh, I see you lied. No, do it again. Next time you might not be so lucky. Know the difference and pay attention to what he said and how he said it and when he said it. Because he did not approve of her behavior. You know what I'm saying? There's forgiveness with him. He don't mark iniquity so that you can stand, so that you can fear him. How many times? It's a couple times where he looked people in the face and said, go and sin no more, lest a worse thing come on you. So he would let it be known, okay, go do it again if you want to, nigga. I might put something on you. You know what I'm saying? I might not put something on you. Try me though. I'm one to play with. I like to gamble. Because I know I'm going to win every time. That's why I like it. Because I'm not going to lose. You going to lose. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop looking at this man like he stamped negative behavior, because he did not. He forgave it. He didn't stamp it. You know what I'm saying? And even after a period of time, he wasn't going to forgive it if you kept pushing it. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at this man and see him for who he was. The book said this man's voice sounded like many waters. That means he spoke aggressively. He spoke powerfully. You know what I'm saying? And you know why you can speak aggressively and powerfully? Because you believe in what you're speaking and you're confident in what you're speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, most people that you see speak aggressively, and not that this is not an end-all be-all. This is not 100%. They're very confident in what they're talking. You know what I'm saying? Or what is termed to be aggressive speech. What we term to be aggressive speech is actually confidence and passion, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when someone is speaking aggressively because it has violent undertones to their words. Because they used to say that Malcolm was speaking aggressively, and Malcolm threatened no one. Malcolm didn't even advocate violence. Malcolm advocated self-defense. Do you know what I'm saying? Malcolm never once told anyone to go harm anyone. And he spoke calmly most of the time when he spoke. But yet his words were passionate and powerful and confident, so they came off to be aggressive to people who were insecure, because they were not secure in what he was talking about. So when the master coming through talking about this, that, there, and the third, these people are not secure in Elohim. Therefore, they found him to speak too rough for their taste. What's one of the things the people said? No man has ever spoke like this man. The scribes say nothing to him. What could they say? That's why Paul say, let me speak the word of Elohim boldly as I ought to speak. When you speak boldly, you speak with confidence, which people could take bold speech as being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And that's not aggressive. That's every one of you, I don't care. It ain't got to just be the word. Anything, I'm talking about the women and all. Anything that you believe in and you passionate about and you confident in, you should speak it with some manner of boldness, because you believe what you're talking. You believe in what you're talking about. You got faith in what you own. If you don't believe in what you're talking about, why should I? You know what I'm saying? Why should I buy what you selling if you don't even believe in what you selling? That doesn't make sense. If you believe you the greatest cook to ever grace God's planet, then make me believe that then. Maybe I'll try your dish. You saw some of the best sellers are people that get you to believe in what they selling. And not a similitude of being rude of speech is being ignorant. Because that's what it means, unlearned. You know what I'm saying? The scribes and Pharisees definitely were rude in speech. They definitely didn't know what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna listen to a nigga who know what he talking about. You ain't got to have a great understanding of the word. You know what I'm saying? For me to sit down and chop it up with you. But if you don't know what you talking about, come on, bro. Shoot, we might well talk to one of these children about the word at that point. You know what I'm saying? We ain't saying you got to be no master scribe, but good grief, you got to know something. You know what I'm saying? Got to have a little control of the subject matter. Come on. Keep going. You in Philippians?
He say, and being found in the fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became beaten unto death.
Under what?
The death of the state.
Even so, guess what? You got to be willing to die. This is how he commits your works to Yah, and he'll establish your thoughts. What did the son say repeatedly? I gotta die. I gotta die. Because he committed his works to Yah, so therefore his thoughts was established to offer himself as a living sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? This is what he was willing to do. Come on back to Psalms 37 and 22. And then we'll read Proverbs 16 and 9. If you wonder why people's minds can go in different directions and do things and you can't understand why they doing them, it's because they haven't committed their works to Yah. Hiel the Bethlite had committed himself to doing this particular task. You know what I'm saying? Now he became cursed for rebuilding this city, just like Hamashiach became cursed for rebuilding that city. You know what I'm saying? We mentioned that Wednesday because he ain't supposed to do that. Come on, Psalm 37:22.
For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by YAHUAH, and he delighteth in his way.
Go ahead.
Though he fall,
Though he what?
Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for YAHUAH upholdeth him with his hand.
Y'all should know what that's leading you to if he fall down there, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Proverbs 6:16.
Proverbs 24:16. The just man falleth 7 times. But you know yeah, but I'm talking about when he's talking about the fall. But look at it when he say order. That word for order is kun. You know what that is? It's to be established. So he say the steps of a good man are established. So if the steps of a good man are established, what is this going to take us to? This is the lamb that is slain from the foundation of the world. This is those who are predestinated in him to be saved because your steps are already established. Your thoughts are already established because your works are already going to be committed to him. You understand what I'm saying? This is going back to how he tell you how he directs people to where he wants them to go, when he wants them to get there, for his said cause and reason. Give me Proverbs 16 and 9 and then Romans 8 and 28. 8 and 25, matter of fact. Proverbs 16 and 9.
As a man heart devises his way, but YAHUAH directs his steps.
It says a man heart to do what?
Devises his
So
way.
guess what? Your mind can devise what you gonna do, what you think you gonna do, but it said that Yah direct your steps. See, guess what? What did the master's heart desires for him to do when he was getting ready to die? Asked to get out of it, right? But Yah directed his steps right there to that state. Jonah's heart devised that he wasn't going to preach to Nineveh. But what did Yah cause to happen? He went to Nineveh and preached that word. You know what I'm saying? You can devise in your mind anything you want to go do. But Yah is the one who's going to direct you the way he wants you to be at. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that. You got to know that. What I asked you for this morning?
Proverbs and Romans.
Yeah, Romans 8 and 25. Well, you know he in trouble. She called him by his whole name.
It says, but if we hope for that what we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Ruach also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray as we ought. But the Ruach itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Yes, sir.
And he that searches the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Ruach, because he maketh intercession for the Kadeshim according to the will of Elohim.
To the will of Elohim.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim and to them who are called according to his purpose.
If they called according to his purpose, that means he directs their steps. So like I said, and I'll reference it and I'll be quick with it. Come over here to 2 Chronicles chapter 30 though. When we look at 2 Chronicles 30 and about 17. When we look at Abraham, Yah directed Abraham's steps. He directed him to the place that he wanted to go for the cause that he wanted him to go there for. And everything worked out for his good. You know what I'm saying? I have to come back and refocus on this here to go into greater detail. When you turn around and you look at Isaac, he directed his steps. He directed him to find Rebekah. And as we mentioned, Rebekah gave birth to Jacob, which is why we're here. She was the one who Yah gave the prophecy to, that the elder shall serve the younger. So she knew what to do to make sure Jacob got the birthright that was his from the foundation of the world. And that was because Yah directed him to Rebekah to join them together for that said cause. You know what I'm talking about? It was Yah that directed Jacob in that pathway to see Rachel, so he would pick Rachel, which ended up getting him Leah, which ended up why we're here. You know what I'm talking about? It was Yah that directed Joseph to be thrown in that pit, to be sold to the Gentiles, to go into Egypt, and to marry an Egyptian woman, to produce Ephraim and Manasseh, who ends up becoming a part of the family, for him to be going to a jailhouse, for him to come out of that jailhouse, and to sit at Pharaoh's right hand to save the whole world. Yah directed them steps. None thing that I mentioned with all of those men, they were all good men. He directed all of those men in those aspects, in those arenas, to do all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Do you think when they doing it that was the case? They didn't know that there, but all those men had something in common. They committed themselves to Yah, therefore their thoughts were established. We can see that with Jacob. Jacob poured oil on that rock to anoint it. And he said, if you keep me in this way that I go, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this. Because he had already committed himself to serve Yah, so Yah gave him a mind to keep on going. See, if you don't commit yourself to this man, then he'll give you the thought process for you to crash, which is why he said, I'll give you your delusions. Because he said, when I called, none did answer, and when I spake, they did not hear, but chose to do evil before my eyesight. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at that. You got to ponder upon that. Commit. Your actions will dictate the thoughts that Yah gives you. If your actions are dictated upon salvation, then he will give you thoughts that are along those lines. If your actions are along the lines of iniquity and sin, then he will give you thoughts along those lines. The choice is yours. See, but nobody don't really look at it in that aspect. It's your choice on the thoughts you get. Love sin, get sinful thoughts. Love righteousness, get righteous thoughts. Meaning love it in actions and doing it, not talking about it. You wonder why people can go astray and go do this or fall off? Look at their actions. Their actions predate what's it. The master already told you it's not that what's it goes in the man that defile him, it what come out. It's your thoughts that defile you. So if you have those type of thoughts, your thoughts can't actions, then your thoughts can't be established. Because if you think about fornication, you're going to commit fornication. When I say think upon it, meaning you don't cast that thought down when it pop in your head. You steady ponder on it and dwell on it. And eventually you're going to go do it. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you're going to commit adultery. Eventually you're going to smoke that weed. You're going to drink that bottle because you're thinking about it too much. It's no different than if you have a hustle or you have something that you're thinking about building or whatever the case may be. If you think about it long enough, then eventually if you're a person of action, you're going to put those thoughts into action because it's permeating your thoughts every moment of the day. But if you ain't thinking, you see some people, they say they hustle, they got a business, they don't put nothing into it because they ain't thinking about it. You got people who say they on the word. The book say, you know what I'm saying? He giving perfect shalom who trusts in thee, whose mind is stayed on thee. Because you thinking on it. And it's going to dictate your actions. Go ahead. I'd like a cookie. Can I have a cookie? 30 and 17. I want a cookie.
It says, for there were many of the congregation that were not sanctified. Therefore the Levites had the charge of killing of the Passover for everyone that was not clean to sanctify them unto Yahuwah.
Say everybody wasn't clean.
For a multitude of the people, every man of Ephraim and Manasseh and Issachar and Zebulun had not cleansed themselves, yet did they eat Passover otherwise than it was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, Yahuwah Elohim pardon every one.
Now look at verse 19 and look what it says.
But that prepared his heart to seek Elohim, and Yahuwah Elohim of his fathers, though he be not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary, and Yahuwah hearkened to Hezekiah and helped the people.
Healed the people.
Healed.
You know the word prepared is that word kun again, which is to be established. Now it said they were established and what they were established for. because they weren't cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary. So when we look at Hamashiach being the sanctuary, what is the cleansing of the purification of the sanctuary? Ain't even just immersion. What's going to purify the sanctuary? Ephesians 5:25. Let's see what will purify the sanctuary. Because remember, Peter told us in his epistle letter that immersion does not wipe off the filthiness of the flesh, but a good conscience towards Elohim. So immersion does not purify the sanctuary. Because the sanctuary is the body. It's your physical body. Because it was the master's physical body. What purified the master's sanctuary? He say, how can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to thy word. It was the word that resided in him is what cleansed that sanctuary, because his thoughts were established. He was affixed in that foundation. The YAHUAH, the Bethlight of Elohim, lives in the house of Elohim. If we look at that, we're supposed to be the house of Elohim, like we just read in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 earlier, and that he's supposed to live in you. Like Paul told you, I no longer live, but Mashiach lives in me by the faith of Mashiach that I possess. So then when you do that, then you actually be representative of YAHUAH the Bethelite, because Elohim lives in the house of Elohim, which you are. This is why he say, whosoever defile the temple of Elohim, Elohim will destroy. Because Elohim lives in the house of Elohim. How did he actually live in the physical temple? Because the Ark of the Covenant was there with the mercy seat. So that was the dwelling place of the living Elohim. And when he defiled the temple, what did he do to it? He destroyed it. He tore it down. That's why he said, whosoever defile the temple of Elohim, Elohim shall destroy. Go ahead. In 25.
It says, husbands, love your wives, even as the Mashiach loved the assembly and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious assembly, not having spot, nor wrinkle, nor
blemish. Now come on over here to 2 Corinthians 7:1. So sit back, looking at the word is supposed to wash. What did he tell you in Isaiah chapter 1? Wash you, make you clean, and cease from doing evil from before my eyes. So the word is supposed to wash away all of these things out of your inward part. What was you supposed to do when you pulled out the kidneys and all the stuff that you were supposed to offer for sacrifice? You were supposed to wash it. Why do you think when we read that last night with the covenant, along with the blood, what else did he have? Water. Because you're supposed to wash it. But niggas ain't washing themselves. They still filthy and nasty and dirty at the day that they started. Go ahead, man.
2 Chronicles.
2 Corinthians 7:1.
Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and ruach, perfecting kodashis in the fear of Elohim.
So what that's going to allow you to do? You cleanse yourself of these things, it's going to cause you to perfect being set apart and your fear of Elohim. But you got to watch that. That's it. When we came in the word, did you think we were purified according to the sanctuary? Well, let's look and see how we weren't purified according to the sanctuary. Give me Mark 1:16. And after that, Acts chapter 2.
Now, as he walked by the sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Andrew his brother casting a net to the sea, for they were fishers. And Yahuwah said unto them, come ye after me, and I will make you become fishermen. And straightway they forsook their nets and followed him. And when he had gone a little farther thence, he saw...
My bad, I needed 1:14.
Now, after John was put in prison, Yahuwah came into Galilee preaching the Messiah of the kingdom of Elohim. It says, and saying, the time is fulfilled, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, repent ye, believe the Messiah. Now, as
that's good. Now the people haven't been cleansed yet. None of this has occurred, right? Now, how do we get clean? John 15:3. Go ahead, John 15:3, and after that, Hebrews 9:14.
You don't want to ask too? What you going?
Yeah, I do. John 15:3.
It says, now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto
Now
you.
John 6:63 says what, right? The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. The flesh profiteth nothing. So he say this word cleanse you, right? Now let's look at Hebrews 9:14 and then Acts chapter 2. Yep. I heard 9:14, sir. You get 14. All right, now your brother locked himself in there last week.
That is one.
Now, Henry. Come here, Henry. Henry.
How much more shall the blood of Mashiach,
Make it 11 then.
but Mashiach being come a high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood.
You said that tabernacle ain't made with what?
With
Hands.
hands.
Now of this building. Like we read in Amos, who built it? Yah built it. Go ahead.
Neither by the blood of goats or calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the Kadash place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through eternal Ruach offered themselves without a spot to Elohim, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim?
So you got to realize something. Before you came to Mashiach, you were not purified according to the purification of the sanctuary. But guess what he said? Didn't Hezekiah pray that the people could be healed? So let's come over here to Luke 23:33 and let's see how you would be able to be healed without the purification of the sanctuary. Because technically you can't be able to even approach to the sanctuary because you ain't clean. Because that's what happened. They were not supposed to be able to come in that sanctuary in 2 Chronicles 30 because they were not clean, correct? According to law, they weren't supposed to come. They had not been cleansed properly. But yet it said that Hezekiah prayed for them and they were cleansed so they could participate in the sanctuary to come in the house. Now let's see how the master did that for you. Luke 23:33.
And when they were come to the place which is called Calvary, there they crucified him, and the malefactors, one on the right, one on the other, right hand, on the left hand, other on the left. Then said Yahushua, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted the raiment and cast lots.
That's good. Now you see how he just purified you without you coming in. You not purified according to the law of the sanctuary to come in. He asking him to heal you. This is another example of the mercy of Elohim, because we technically ain't supposed to be even allowed to come nowhere close to this man. Because he the house of Elohim, correct? He the sanctuary, correct? But if we not purified according to the law, we not even supposed to come nowhere near this man. But yet he allows it to happen. And he allowed them to become purified after the fact, even though they weren't purified before the fact. Because we're not purified before the fact because we were in sin. Do you know what I'm saying? So now he allowed, this is why he say, prepare their heart to seek, who weren't purified according to the sanctuary. So those who had established their mind to seek after the word, he allows them to come into the sanctuary before they are cleansed. This is how you can come to him in that particular state. Let's see how. Acts chapter 2, verse 37.
So before the sanctuary comes, which is usually
No, that's something totally different. What we talking about is like literal people. Like with Yahushua being the sanctuary, you can't come to the sanctuary unclean. You can't come in there. You haven't been purified. You can't come into him unclean. These people are seeking to keep the Passover in the sanctuary, but have not been purified according to the law to enter into the sanctuary. So Hezekiah prayed for them that they might be healed, though they did contrary to what the law states. Yah heard him and healed the people. This is showing us that while we are in sin and have not been purified, that you can approach unto the sanctuary if you have established your mind and your heart to seek after Yah to enter into the sanctuary, even though you had not been cleansed. This means you are allowed to be able to come unto him and to repent so he can clean you. Go ahead. And verse 37. Because what we're looking at here in the book of Acts, none of these people were cleansed. None of them. And they were approaching to enter into the sanctuary, even though they were coming in not according to the law of purification. See, a Hebrew who don't know the covenant or claim he Old Testament only, see, they wrong. That's a sin because you ain't got no mercy and no long suffering and compassion in you. How can Elohim be in you? Come on.
Now, when they had heard this, they were pricked in their
We're going to
heart.
give him 33.
It said, therefore, being by the right hand of Elohim exalted, and having received the honor, having received of the Father and promised in Ruach HaKodesh, he hath shed for this which ye now see and hear. For David is not ascended up unto Shamayim, but he said himself, Yahuwah said unto my master, sit on thy right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. Therefore let all the houses of Yahshua know surely that Elohim has made that same Yahushua whom ye crucified, both master and Mashiach.
What?
Now when they had heard this, they were pricked in their heart.
They were what?
They were pricked in their heart.
See, we didn't read that in 2 Chronicles 30. When the people seen that they hadn't kept Passover in a while, you know what happened with them? They were pricked in their heart. They were pricked in their heart. And they said, what are we going to do? And Hezekiah declared the Passover to be kept. Go ahead.
And said unto Peter and to the rest of the apostles, men and brethren, what shall we do? Then Peter said unto them, repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, for the remission of sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh. For the promises unto you and to your children and to all that are far off, even as many as our master, the master our Elohim shall call. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this
untoward generation.
Yeah, my bad. Untoward generation.
You know what he told you? Deliver yourself from them wicked niggas. That's what he told you. Save yourself from this untoward generation, because this generation is wicked. You better save yourself. See, but we don't want to deliver ourselves from it, and that's something that you have to do. We look for y'all to save us from everything except real trouble. Some of the stuff you can be saved from are just by you taking action. You know what I'm saying? You can save yourself from a lot of things just by taking heed to the word and taking action. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to take no action, you're not going to be saved. He delivers you out of troublous situations, not from situations that you create or that you can easily save yourself from by just removing yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he saved David from Saul because Saul was trying to kill him. You know what I'm talking about? There was no need for him to save Isaiah from the people. He just told Isaiah, don't walk in the way of his people, they wicked. That was a decision that Isaiah would have to make to save himself from amongst the people. So that's what he told him, right? That's stuff simple. Come on back to come over here to Psalms chapter 8, man. 8 and 1. Psalms 8 and 1.
O Yahuwah, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. Who has set thy esteem above Shamayim? Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. When I consider thy heavens, when I consider Shamayim, the works of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him?
That word ordained is also established. Look what he say he ordained. What did he ordain?
The works of thy fingers, the moon and the stars.
The work of what?
The work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars.
The moon and the what?
The moon and the stars.
Who are these moon and stars? Who's the moon? Let's look and see how. Genesis 1 and 14.
It says, and Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of Shamayim to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Let them be for lights in the firmament of Shamayim to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also.
Now look here, right? Let's look at something the Master said in John chapter 14,
Right.
verse 6.
John.
Stop running. Stop running.
14 and 4.
Try it, George. I said stop running.
Go sit down. Go sit down. It says, and whither I go ye know, and the way ye know. Thomas said unto him, Master, we know not whither thou goest, and how can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
How he say? He said, how can we know the way? Remember, he said, the steps of a good man are ordered by Yah. He delight in his way. Go ahead.
It says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also, and from henceforth ye know him and have seen him.
Go ahead.
Philip said unto him, Master, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Yahuwah said unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me? Philip, he that hath seen me hath seen the Father, and how sayest thou then, Show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am the Father, and the Father in me? The words which I speak unto you, I speak not unto myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me.
Now we know that verse 20, by verse 26, nobody by verse 30, 28, 29. Did he say that my Father is greater than I? In the same chapter up? Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. How is Hamashiach the greater and lesser light at the same time? Because you should know the first one, it should be quite easy. Because he said the greater light was made to rule what? So we know what Mashiach say, I'm the light of the world, right? Anybody come to me, say walk in the light while you have the light. But how is he the lesser light that rules over the night? Considering that he said that the work of his fingers were what? The moon. That he established the moon. And Jericho is the cursed city, and it means what? And it said that Elohim lives in the house of Elohim, built that, and his youngest son Segub built the gates, and that means exalted. So how did this man rule over the night? Not on that one there, like literally, how does Yahushua HaMashiach, if he's the lesser light, how does he rule over the night?
Elohim,
He's no part darkness, he's light. Right. But how did he rule over the night? Well, let's look at how by defeating death. Because remember, he said, this is what I established. What did he establish the master to do? John 10 and verse 19. Let's look at what he established him to do. Because we're dealing with Jericho, meaning its moon. And he said in Joshua chapter 6, you can read it for yourself. In verse 25 or verse 24, he said, whoever rebuilds Jericho is cursed. You know what I'm saying? But Elohim lives, who is from the house of Elohim, laid the foundation in its moon, and then exalted, built the gates. You know what I'm talking about? So what were gates in the city for? What were the gates for? Defense, and also for the people to do what? To enter in and to go out. You know what I'm talking about? And what did the master say in John chapter 10? I lead them in and I bring them out. Go ahead.
19. You went before that, right?
What did you just say?
You said 19.
What chapter? What you saying?
10.
Yeah, 10 and 19.
It says, there was a division, therefore, again, amongst Yahudim in these sayings, and many
Man, make it 18.
No man taketh it from me, but I lay down of myself. I have the power to lay it down. I have the power to take it up again. This commandment have I received.
Now, why is the sun the lesser light versus the greater light? Because Elohim cannot be tempted with sin, nor he tempt any man with sin. When Hamashiach was in the flesh, does it not say you are they that were with me in my temptations? See, this is how you stupid see. How can he be God? It says in your New Testament that God is not tempted with sin. But because he was the Son of Man, dummy, that's why. So therefore he could be tempted with sin because he was a man.
That's all.
But I'm talking about, but smarty art niggas will come at you that way. Says God can't be tempted with sin. Y'all say Yahushua God. He said right here, he was tempted. How could he be tempted? Because he was a man. He didn't come Elohim until he resurrected from the dead. Now let's look at 1 Peter chapter 4 and about verse 3. Hey, little girl. And she's never coming back.
It says, for the time past in our lives may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them in the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick for the dead? For this cause was the Besorah preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to Elohim.
See, that is right here. If he preaching the gospel, that means that's because he has to that means he rule over the night too. See, I'm going to show you how. Where's that at? No. Revelation chapter 3. Revelation 3 and 3. Let me make sure that's the right spot. No, it's Revelation chapter 1. Chapter 1. 1 and 17.
It says, and when I saw him, I fell at his feet. I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, fear not, I am the first and the last.
He the what?
I am the first and the last.
Now what does the Tav mean?
Mark.
A covenant. And what does the Aleph mean? So he's the chief who established the covenant, is what he's pretty much telling you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the thing that established all things, and then the last he brought in the covenant, which is saving your soul. Because Elohim lived in the house of Elohim to rebuild a cursed city. How is this a cursed city? Because we were cursed. What these dudes don't sit back and look at. This people is cursed, and that curse goes beyond Deuteronomy 28 and you being captive. The curse of Elohim was on every man's tabernacle, because death was on every man's tabernacle. Hebrew chapter 2 say he destroyed him that had power over death, that is who? So that means the devil was ruling over the night. So he had to take it back from him. And this is what don't you notice that when you look at 1 Kings 16, this mission of YAHUAH the Bethlite ain't really got nothing to do with nothing? Or what would be it go to talking about Ahab, the next thing you know we're talking about somebody rebuilding a cursed city, correct? You ain't sit back and look at what this got to do with the course of this conversation. You telling me like Ahab wicked, he doing this and doing that, and next thing you know, YAHUAH the Bethlite rebuilt Jericho to fulfill the word of Yahushua son of Nun. Why is this here? Because he had to drop a prophecy on you real quick. A prophecy that was being fulfilled at that time that had to be fulfilled later. Because don't you find it ironic that the man's name means Elohim lives in the house of Elohim? You know what I'm talking about? And the father's name means Elohim is exalted, and the other son, youngest son, name means exalted. And because that he set this foundation or prepared his steps in the house of Elohim, you are able to live so that you can be exalted. He said, whosoever honoreth me, my Father will honor. He said, Father, give me the honor that I had with thee before the world was. So he can bestow that honor upon those who are sanctified in him, so that curse can be removed. This is why Paul tells you, if I rebuild the things that I destroy, I make myself a transgressor. Don't be trying here trying to rebuild Jericho and you ain't rebuilding it in the proper fashion. You end up getting yourself cursed. Come on. This is 5:30.
It says, I am he that liveth and was dead.
And was
Behold,
what?
I am he who was living and was dead. Behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have his keys to hell and of death.
But if he got the keys to hell and death, then what has he got the ability to do? To free men from the grave and from death. What did Paul write in Romans 7? He said, I thank Elohim that I got the victory through Yahushua HaMashiach. 1 Corinthians 15 and 55. Come here, Henry.
It says, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin.
The sting of death is what?
Is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to Elohim, which gives us the victory through the Master Yahushua Mashiach. Therefore, my beloved brother, be ye steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the
So
Lord.
what's the sting of sin? So when you sit back and look at it, what is bringing forth the death? What did the Mashiach come to do? Romans 6 and 7. This is how he ruling over the night. Because if he say his father's greater than him, then he would be the lesser light, right? The moon is light regardless. We have to sit back and look at it. The moon is light regardless. No matter what anybody want to tell you, the moon is a light-giving creation. You know what I'm saying? So when we turn around and you look at it, he said he ordained and made the moon and stars with his own fingers. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he said he did. So that means he had to make a Mashiach with his own fingers. He had to make the stars, what we know is the sons of Elohim, with his own fingers. He ordained them. He established them, which goes back to those who have been predestinated to be saved in the Mashiach. All thy members are written in the book. Before they were fashioned, they were written in the book. So this is going back to what? How the good steps of the steps of a good man are ordered. They're ordered. I established them and I delight in his way. Because he said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. He delighted in his son. Why did he delight in his son? Like Malachi told you. He sat back and said, hey man, you could be able to determine between the wicked and the righteous, and him who serveth his father, and him who does not. Because he said he delights in him who serves him. Which is going to go back to you committing your works to Yah, and therefore your thoughts will be established, and he will delight in your way, because way is the rock, and that's the way to the highest that covers sins. So if you're walking in the way that covers sins to get you to the Father, he will delight in your way because he ordered those steps. But if you don't commit your thoughts to this man, your works to this man, then your thoughts will not be established to you to go in that direction. Yahushua was already committed to do everything his father sent him to do. That's why his steps were directed. If you don't have your thought, if you don't have your works directed to serve Yah, then he will direct you away from people who serve Yah. If your thoughts are directed into serving Yah, when your works are directed into serving Yah, then he will direct you to people who serve Yah. This is why the book say, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, he'll obtain favor of Yahuwah. Because all those men, he directed them steps to find them women that they married. Even with the same token, Abigail's thoughts were directed to, works were directed to serve Yah, though she was married to a wicked man, and he directed David to find this woman so he could marry her. So we got a little problem. She got a husband. So you know what we'll do? We'll kill him. But what? He just didn't kill Nabal. Nabal killed himself. Through his own wickedness, his own pride, and his own stubbornness, because he wanted these two righteous people to be together. You think he just had David stumble across this man for no reason? There is no mention of Abigail nowhere else in this book other than that spot right there. Other than mentioning that she was married to David and she had kids from him. You think that was by accident? Because we could say David was a good man. You don't think he ordered every step that David did? Because David had a heart that was after Elohim's heart. That means his works were committed to Elohim. Therefore, he established David's thoughts. He'll direct you to get you where you need to go at. Come on.
We are Romans 6.
Romans 6 and 7.
It said, for he that is dead is free from sin. Now if we be dead with Mashiach, we believe that we shall also live with him. Knowing that Mashiach being raised from the dead died no more, death has no more dominion over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto Elohim. Likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto Elohim through Yahushua Mashiach our Master. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourself unto Elohim as those that are alive from the dead.
Oh, alive from the what?
Alive from the dead.
And then he said he was dead but lived forevermore, and he got the keys to it. Therefore, he would be able to defeat that curse and to rule over the night. It's not to say that Yah never ruled over the night, because it said he created light and darkness. You were saying we understand that. But Yah don't have nothing to do with death. You know what I'm talking about? So therefore he allowed Hashatan, the devil, whatever you want to call him, the serpent, to have authority over that till I feel like taking it back. And then he sent his son to take it back. Give me that back. Therefore the sun rules over the night. That's that lesser light ruling over the night. Just like he the greater light ruling over the day. He both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because what's up?
No.
Because you got to reconcile that he said that he made the moon with the fingers of his hands. Did he not craft and make the sun himself? He formed him. He made him. He established this before the world was founded, that this had to occur. But go ahead and swing me to shoot, man. Revelation chapter 22, man, about verse 17.
Shorty swing my way.
You said you how's your time to get it to you? Feel like you can.
So I felt like I'm taking it back, meaning till my plan is, till I'm ready to the full completion of the implementation of my plan, to show forth the favor and mercy unto man, that they may know that I am YAHUAH Elohim, and I rule in Shamahim and Arats and in the kingdom of men. And I do as I please, when I please, how I please, to bring forth esteem to my name. And that's what people don't realize. That's what people who don't believe in Mashiach don't. He got power. Yeah, we're not saying he had power over death. He abdicated that power for a small period of time. He abdicated that power. He let him have rule over that, because Elohim is life. YAHUAH is life. He had no part with death. Who brought death? Adam was not made to live forever. You know what I'm saying? He was not made from that, because he was not made with eternal components. That man was made from dust. He did not have an eternal ruach in him. He had the breath of life in him. But if he would have obeyed, he could have had right to the tree of life and live forever. Because that's what it says in the law. We can't let him take lest he live forever. That statement alone lets you know we're going to say, well, he had an 8 from then. Well, clearly, if he got a hold to it, he was going to live forever. The tree was right there for him to get it from. He chose to take this one because the implementation of the plan had to come through. You understand what I'm saying? So when you turn around and look at it, who enticed them to do it? The adversary did. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have brothers sit back like anybody can be a Hashatan, and that is true. Anybody can be an adversary, but we can clearly see from Genesis chapter 3 that the adversary is a Malachim, because we know it's not a talking snake. We know that Hashatan is an adjective, and that adjective is ascribed to a particular being. You know what I'm saying? Because he is an adversary. And I understand what some brother premise is that stop blaming the devil for everything. But the thing is though, is wicked niggas do that. Because if you believe the text, we already know James chapter 1 say a man is enticed and drawn away of his own lust. So we already know we ain't bringing Hashatan for nothing. Hashatan ain't make you do nothing. He just put it out there. You can look at that Balak was a Hashatan to Balaam when he offered those things. He was an adversary. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we try to get a little bit too technical and just start losing good common sense. You know what I'm saying? They looking at there's nowhere in the Tanakh testifying of a devil. It does. It just don't call him that. It just don't. We can sit back and see clearly, and actually we don't even need nothing but Genesis chapter 3 and Job 1 shows us that Hashatan is an adversarial Malachim. 1 Kings chapter 22 shows us that Hashatan is an adversary Malachim that participates in iniquity. That's what we can see from those actions in those 3 places. Because it said a lying ruach. We know Yah, none of his Malachim are liars. So therefore this has to be another creature.
What about when Satan told Solomon or David
the number of the people, adversary. Again, we see this as a Malachim. That's why I say dudes are not as learned as they say they are.
I heard one dude, that, when he cursed him going his belly, and then in Job they say he walked into it pro.
Yeah.
He was confused.
Because when he say curse him on his belly, meaning going after his desires. Because we know that from 1 Corinthians 6 and Philippians. Their God is their belly. They mind earthly things. Meats for the belly, belly for the meats. But Elohim will destroy it and them. You understand what I'm saying? He was cursed to always shoot after his desires. That's why he say you have of your father the devil, the lust of your father ye will do. Because you go about your belly. That's why he got rule. That's why Satan had rule over death. But let me take that back. Let me get them keys, B. I need them keys. You know what I'm saying? I need them keys. Because I'm finna lock that up. That's done. That's over with. I got control of that now. I run that. I own that. I control that. Yeah. Matter of fact, give me Isaiah 25 and 5 to prove that point before you read Revelation 22 and 17. In order for him to take away death, I got to take it back. Because what brought forth death? Sin. The soul that sin, it shall die. We know Yahuwah ain't got nothing to do with sin. Therefore, he ain't got nothing to do with death. He causes death through disobedience, but the action of death, that was never his will. That was never his will. That was never his desire. But you know, he made man outright. Man sought out many inventions. Go ahead.
Isaiah 25 and 5. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in the dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible one shall be brought down low. And in this mountain shall Yahuwah of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wine on the lees, and of fat things full of marrow, of wines on these well refined. And he will destroy in the mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death in victory, and Yahuwah Elohim.
He swallowed up death in what?
In victory.
Didn't we already read that in Corinthians? Come on.
And he will wipe away tears off of the faces and rebuke.
So how did he swallow up death and victory? By Yahushua HaMashiach overcoming sin and death. So therefore he swallowed that up for him to be able to rule over the night. And how did that happen? Because he established his steps to do so. Yah directs people where he wants them to go, when he wants them to go. He gives them the thoughts he wants them to have. If your mind is not committed to the work, your thoughts will not be either. And you got to understand that. If you're not committed to the works, your mind will go somewhere else. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's going to go somewhere else. Revelation 22 and 17.
It says, in the Ruach and the bride say, come, and let him that hears say, come, and let him that is a thirst come, and whosoever will, let him take of the water of life freely.
And what?
For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add these things, Elohim shall add unto him the plagues that are written in the book.
Go ahead.
And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Elohim shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the Kadash city, and from the things which are written in this book. He which testifies these things says, surely I come quickly. Amen. Even so come, Master Yahushua. The grace of our Master Yahushua Mashiach be with you.
Well, hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. And we just stop it right there.